Wow, what a thrilling piece of music to kick off our show today. Hello and welcome to CGTN's special program UniTea, Macao Tea Melody, where we invite you to the alluring charm of Chinese tea culture. I'm your host, Mo Han. I'm here in this beautiful tea house, immersed myself in the aroma of tea fragrance as well as the melodic sound from these fascinating Chinese instruments. And this is Peggy Chen. She's from Macau and plays guzheng on her band, Sky. Hello, Peggy.
Hello.
Can you tell me more about your band and your music?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. We are Sky, and we are so honored to be here. I am Peggy from Macau. This is Eddie from Taipei. This is Chris from Hong Kong, and this is Lisa from Chengdu. We are currently studying at Central Conservatory of Music. The piece that we just performed is our new attempt at modernizing Chinese traditional music. Once again, thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much for the introduction. And today in our program, we've got a lot of surprises for you. Whether you're a tea enthusiast, a music lover, or just a traveler planning on a trip for your next destination, we'll be exploring the rich and diverse culture of Macau, which is a blend of both Chinese and Portuguese influences. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the music. Let's savor the flavors, enjoy the music, and discover the beauty of this captivating city. Hello, and you're watching CGTN's special program UniTea, Macao Tea Melody. I'm your host, Mo Han, and now joining me in the studio are my lovely guests. They are college students in Beijing, but they're all originally from Macau. Welcome, and why don't you introduce yourself, starting from the lady.
Hello everyone, my name is Gu Xinyi. I'm originally from Macau. I'm now studying traditional Chinese medicine in Beijing University of Chinese Medicine. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Zihao. I come from Macau and now I'm studying in the Central University of Finance and Economic, major in taxation.
Hello everyone, I'm Li Wanying from Macau. I'm studying in the Renmin University of China in the major of Russian language.
Hello guys, my name is Huang Xinsen. I'm from Macau, currently studying UIBE, which is known as University of International Business and Economics.
A big welcome to every one of you, and I'm just so happy that we gather here today enjoying our own cup of tea and some tea desserts. And I guess everyone is a tea lover, correct?
Yes, sure.
Look at what we have right now. I am thirsting for this tea. So why don't I just fill your cup and let's try it out.
Thank you.
Consider this as a welcome drink.
Thank you.
I think this is 铁观音, a type of oolong tea.
It's the same as sweet taste in the tea house.
Great, let me try it. And please, help yourself. I love the subtle flavor and it's very gentle. Yes. Do you like it?
Yes, of course. I like its refreshing flavor.
And you know what? I lived in Hong Kong back a few years ago and I traveled to Macau. So I really found out this daily routine of a lot of people living in the Greater Bay Area is that drinking tea is a part of their lives. And you also have the morning dim sum culture, which is referred to as UniTea in Cantonese. Do I pronounce it right?
Absolutely.
So tell me more about this UniTea culture. What about you?
Yeah, when my grandmother, once a week, they ask me to dim sum in the restaurant. So we family have chance to sit down together to talk to each other. You know that in daily life, we don't often get to chance because everyone's busy on their own thing. So dim sum offering us to connect, share family love and care.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and as in my observation, I found that it is part of the elderly healthy daily routine because they will wake up really early to the maybe they work out together and they spend a whole morning in the tea house. It provide a platform for them to communicate to each other even if they were strangers.
But is it only for elders in the family? What about young people? Do you go that early in the morning?
Often when my grandparents they ask me to, I would really likely to go with them. But when they don't ask me to, I won't, because it's part of healthy routine, but it's hard for me.
We need to get used to getting up very early in the morning. I mean, it's down to earth. It's very good for health.
Yes.
And you also mentioned that tea house is a place where you can talk with your families, but also talk with strangers. What do you think?
Yes, I'm a history lover. So, the tea house in an era that the information didn't flow as freely as today, it served as a hub for people to communicate and relax themselves, because the traveler from all over the world will bring and carry the information to the tea houses, so people can discuss the information and the story together under the sun. So showing the important social role of the tea houses.
Yeah, like you said, it is an information hub, and I think it really feels like a newsroom back in the ancient times, because this is where all information flow around.
Yes.
Yes, I am a foodie, and when I go to new places, I always look for local delicacies. And what's interesting about Macao is, as tiny as it is for the scale of an international city, it really offers a diverse choice of food and drinks. And I also did a little research and found out that there is this particular avenue, the road. If you walk along the road, you'll find this very famous Tai Long Fong Casa de Cha, and also shops selling lychee red tea, which is also a very famous or traditional kind of tea in Macau, and also various traditional eateries. The dining experience on the street is a throwback to the 1980s. Do you know the Casa de Cha place that I mentioned?
Yes. I understand that in the early 20th century, the tea houses began to flourish in Macau, and they specifically they always established in the places like the port and the dock and the market, providing the low prices and the quality food to the working class. And it marked the beginning of the tea houses of Macau. And after that, some tea house like Tai Long Fong Tea House, the Local Tea House, and the UniTea Tea House established one by one after another. And the tea houses is tightly connected with the Chinese traditional culture, including the Cantonese opera. And as we know, the Tai Long Fong Tea House is the most famous one and the most familiar one for local people and the tourists.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it's not just a big name for tourists, but it's also a go-to place for locals like you. Am I correct?
To some extent it is, but because when we go to tea house, we are finding a place to slow down our lives. So when it's come too famous, too much tourists will take place to the Tai Long Fong Channel, for example. But it may be too crowded for locals. So, and also you could find many other also famous tea house in the streets. So you may have much more other choice not to go to the only exactly single one tea house.
Yes, of course. And Leo, you just mentioned about the Cantonese opera. I think the tea house is where you can have the whole experience of the culture of Macau. And I know, Sammy, that you learned to sing Cantonese opera at a very young age.
Yes, when I was about 10 years old, I started to learn to sing Cantonese opera. And it usually has two ranges, 子喉 and 平喉. With girls typically sing 子喉. And Cantonese opera is very enchanting, and it has its unique Lingnan charm. And my family members also love Cantonese opera too. We usually enjoy it together when drinking tea.
Wow, I can already picture the scene that you are seeing Cantonese operas while your daddy or your mommy, they are enjoying their cup of tea. That is beautiful. So tell me, what is the traditional tea in Macau that represents local culture?
There's a lot, but for Macau, it doesn't have a particular one single tea. But for Chinese tea culture in Macau, it could be Kung Fu tea.
Yeah.
That's with a lot of complicated and sophisticated steps. That they really emphasize on the tea water temperature and also the choice of the tea sets. So. For the tourists, I would recommend they to randomly choose a tea house in the street because most of them in the Macau streets they cook their tea in their particular way, so you would have tried different flavor in them.
Wow, that is a really high evaluation of the tea, all kinds of teas in Macau. You're saying that you can just walk into any store and get your own cup of tea. That's amazing. What else can you experience rather than food and drinks in Macau?
I often drink tea with my family, so we will eat some dim sum. And like me, I also sometimes I will eat a bowl of noodles with the tea. And maybe we can now try some dim sum now.
Of course, of course. What else are there in the plate? We have Portuguese tart. We have like this cookie is, I think it's almond cookie, right?
Yeah, of course.
Which one is your favorite?
I think that's my favorite one because it is a most crispy one. Yeah, yeah, and it is one of the perfect partner with the green tea.
Yes, great, great. What about you, Sammy? Which one is your favorite?
My favorite is the
cookie, the almond cookie?
The almond cookie because it smells very good and sweet. It brings me back to my hometown. You like?
I also have the same feeling because the almond cookies and a lot of cookies from Macau, they're really sweet. And if you pair it with a cup of tea, it neutralizes that flavor and make it even better.
And originally, those tea like black tea or green tea, they taste a little bit bitter, and when they combine with the sweet desserts, they will make them better.
We are all from different family backgrounds, but as a Chinese, I think the habit of drinking tea is in our DNA. And you know, China is so big. We have different kind of tea everywhere in different parts of China. So have you ever tasted tea elsewhere in China rather than just Macau? It could be also beyond China because English tea, Indian tea, they're all very famous. And what's your favorite one?
My favorite one would be the black tea. It's a form of British tea. Yeah.
And you have traveled to Britain before, right?
Yes, twice. Yeah, when I was in Netherlands. Yeah.
So when you are drinking tea, do you see any difference in tea etiquette?
Yes, one thing that I have noticed is they will usually add sugar and milk in the tea, and that's very special because Chinese people, we don't add sugar in the tea.
Too much in the tea.
Yes.
Yes. And also, I think for English afternoon tea, they have this really beautiful tea sets that is quite different from Chinese porcelain.
And yes, they would have like a little spoon, and it's very different like compared to what we have like the tea sets in China.
Yes. And Joyce, do you see any difference in tea etiquette or taste preferences?
Yes, because I have an exchange experience in St. Petersburg, and my local friend told me that they don't really pay more attention on the type of tea, although they have their favorite tea, but they don't emphasize on the tea types, like the leaves, those details to show respect or something else. They just spend the time enjoying the time, socialize with their friend or family.
So what kind of a role do you think tea culture in Macau?
Europe people, and they choose Macau as a port that start their business and trade with China, and they brought the tea and the tea culture back to Europe.
Yes. Joyce?
And as my opinion, I thought that tea culture seems like a role of clue, give foreigner a chance to get to know about Chinese tea culture and also the history in a really simple way.
Yes, you guys have shared so many interesting stories of tea, and it really embodies the fact that tea is now a part of our lives, no matter where you are from. In fact, as we delve into the history of tea in Macau, the city has played a significant role in the journey of Chinese tea spreading to the world. According to historical records, the earliest documented export of tea from Macau was in 1607. And later on, the Dutch made their first shipment of tea from Macau to Europe, marking the beginning of the spread of tea trade from Asia to Europe. It was also during that period of time in China's Ming Dynasty, tea culture reached new heights of sophistication and refinement. The emphasis on simplicity and naturalness reflected broader cultural trends and had a lasting influence on Chinese tea traditions. The tea brewing methods of the Ming Dynasty simplified the boiling and whisking processes. Water was boiled in a kettle, and loose tea leaves were steeped in a purple clay pot. The literati and scholars of the Ming Dynasty were known for their elegant and meticulous approach to tea. And now, let's travel back in time and appreciate how these refined individuals savored and enjoyed tea through this tea ceremony demonstration. Brought to you by tea artist Wang Zihan. You're watching CGTN special program UniTea, Macao Tea Melody, where we invite you to the alluring charm of Chinese tea culture. Now, joining me in the studio are my lovely guests. Welcome again. So guys, how do you feel about the tea art performance?
Costume is very elegant, and the posture is it shows the Ming Dynasty, the beauty of Asian Chinese culture.
Yes. Do you have any idea of the sophistication of the whole process?
I could saw like part of the modern form of cooking tea in the picture, and they show us the picture because I'm really surprised because we never got chance to get back to the ancient China, and they showed us how this looked like.
Yes, I think for a lot of us living in the 21st century, we don't have the luxury and don't have the time to really experience the refined process of making tea. And what is more convenient for us is just if you click on your phone and you can just order a cup of milk tea. It's just at your fingertips. And they're so convenient, they can be delivered to you right away. And also milk tea is making its way into a lot of Western countries, like in US, in the UK, you see a lot of Chinese branding stores selling milk tea everywhere. How do you guys feel about the global popularity of milk tea?
It's actually an extension of culture bridge to allow the foreigner to get to know the Chinese tea culture. And the milk tea is definitely the first step.
And what's so good about milk tea is that you can put all kinds of ingredients that you really like into this cup of drink.
Yes.
So, and Sammy, because your major is traditional Chinese medicine, and we noticed that in recent years there are a lot of shops combining the idea of TCM and creating a new type of drink that is seems like to be a more healthy choice for people. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Perhaps some people think milk tea isn't very healthy as it can lead to weight gain and may be hard to digest. But now, in the field of traditional Chinese medicine, we are now combining the milk tea with the traditional Chinese culture by adding some Chinese herbs into it. I will recommend a kind of milk tea that blended with red dates, wolfberries, and dairy. It can help to nourish our tea and blood and can warm and tonify our body.
Wow. And it's really nice for a winter day in Beijing. We need to warm ourselves up, and that's through this healthy tea.
Yes, and it will also helpful for a woman who is in the during the menstruation.
Yes, yes, definitely. Generally speaking, do you think young people in Macau, are they interested in tea culture? And is there any kind of activities or events that promotes tea culture in Macau?
Yes, yeah, like since like milk tea, like give thanks to the popularity of milk tea. So nowadays, many Macau youngsters start to get to know about the tea culture. I think there is recently there's new established a tea culture center in Macau.
Wow.
And so nowadays, many Macau youngsters get to know that Chinese tea. Yeah.
And Joyce?
I'm really glad to see that more and more my friends and even strangers, the youngsters, they start to try this different bubble tea, milk tea that's shown in different ingredients, as you said, and they could combine different tea, even if it's green tea or black tea, just different tea type they could combine with milk, so it could go more popular. And people, when they get known with this milk tea, they also like to increase their interest to know what it is and what the culture behind this.
Wow. And my one last question is, if you can recommend one type of tea, what would you choose? Sammy?
I will recommend a kind of tea that named Fu Cha. It is from Shanxi. Actually, I have drunk a lot of tea, but Fu Cha is my favorite because it has a really mellow taste and has its unique aged aroma. It is also good for my body because unlike the green tea and white tea, which has cool nature, the Fu Cha is warming. And for people with weak stomach and spleen like me, Fu Cha is a good choice. After each sip, I can feel much better.
I think it's a balance to your body, you know, the warmth, and it helps with digestion, like you said.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
What about you, Leo?
Yes, as for me, my favorite tea is the kind of Venus Dantong. That's my favorite tea, and this kind of tea accompanied me through my senior year in my senior high school. It is an unforgettable and unique memory. The sweet flavor would arrive after the initial bitterness and the burst of the refreshing flavor.
Wow.
So it is an unique and pretty good impression for me. And for me, it is a good choice to drink in summer days.
That is excellent description of how you taste the tea. I want to try that out. And what about you, Joyce?
I highly recommend that you could try the roasted tea. It is like most of you may heard about rose tea, but roasted tea is different from rose tea. It's combined the flavor and also the benefit from fruit tea and also the flower tea.
Wow.
It's besides it could enhance your immunity and also your sleep quality. The most important for me, it could because it is rich in vitamin C, so it could slow down aging and also prevent illness.
That's fantastic. And Sam?
The tea
This
we're
cup of
drinking,
tea?
yes.
The
let's
oolong
drink it.
tea or the 铁观音?
铁观音, yes,
Wow.
let's try.
Why do you like it?
It's not that bitter. It's a little bit sweet, for my opinion, and I'm thirsty now.
Let's just cheers.
Cheers.
Team up for unity, right?
Yes.
I also love the delicate fragrance to the tea. And also, you guys, thank you all for coming and joining me on the show. We've had a very wonderful discussion of tea culture in Macau. And as a courtesy from the crew, we have prepared a little gift for you. This is the tea passport designed by my talented colleague at CGTN. So one for each.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is also the signature product of our CGTN UniTea program. And we also have the stamp here. If you can flip open the first page,
Yes, sure.
and perhaps you can choose your favorite color and make a stamp in the first page.
Okay.
Marking your participation in our show.
Oh,
Do you like it?
yeah,
Yes.
sure, of course.
It has the logo of our show.
Thank you.
When you're done stamping on it, why don't you show them to the camera? That's beautiful.
That's my favorite color.
That's my favorite part too.
I hope you like it.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
We believe that tea is a representative cultural ambassador of China, and we hope to engage in more meaningful dialogue about tea culture with friends from around the world, just like our conversation we had today. We also take this opportunity to extend our best wishes to you. Let us team up for unity. You're watching CGTN's special program Unity, Macao Tea Melody. As Macau is celebrating the 25th anniversary of its return to China in December, there are a lot of activities and events going on, even in the capital city, Beijing, as well. Coming up next, follow me as we embark on a trip to Beijing Meet You Museum for an immersive lighting show. The show has a dazzling display of Macau's scenic landscape and cultural elements such as the lotus flowers, the fireworks, etc. You don't want to miss the show. Let's go. Naked Flowers Immersive Light Show made its debut in November. It offers a captivating walkthrough experience full of millions of blooming flowers projected by state-of-the-art LED lights. In addition to that, there is a special unit that celebrates the cultural gems of the Macau Special Administrative Region. Now, joining me in the beautiful wonderland of light and shadow are my special guests, Yu Zhetong and Wu Weilin. They're both students now in Beijing. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for joining our program. And now we have finished touring the immersive light show. What is your general feeling or impression about it?
It feels like I have entered into the secret garden and feeling like I'm the protagonist. And from that moment on, I was really immersed into this exhibition.
I think the show is really breathtaking, and you can see all the flowers and petals is flowing in the wind. And it just reminds me of Macau spring.
The last scenery is a sightseeing of the Macau Peninsula, and therefore, because my home lived there before too, and so it makes me think of my childhood, and it's kind of touching. Actually, Macau has been holding an event called Macao Light Festival every year, and these activities has been attracting. It's popular among both locals and visitors, and this includes like sculpture performance, like decorations, etc., and featuring different themes each year. And the themes are actually reflecting the development and changes in Macau.
I thought the show have many interactive place for the visitors to have interaction with them, and I thought it's quite a great way for them to have immersive experience in that.
Wow. And I know that you guys are both students studying in Beijing right now, and you are living in a place away from home. But as someone who was born and grew up in Macau, do you see any changes in terms of the city's development over the past few years?
There's also have a lot of new policies launched. For example, like the Guangdong Macau Cooperation Zone in Beijing, or the 1+4 developmental strategy, and all these policies is making Macau more convenient and competitive.
I think the tourism industry has been changed a lot.
This art design of this exhibition is actually focused on the theme of flowers. And speaking of flowers, the most iconic symbol of Macau is lotus flower. What do you think?
Yeah, just like what I've mentioned, I saw the lotus pool in this exhibition, and actually there is a saying that Macau landscape is similar to the shape of the lotus. And lotus actually symbolize peace and harmonies, and so maybe Macau is being blessed by it, and so it has avoided wars all this year round, and the citizens is living in a peace. And there is also, and Macau is also known as rich in the blend of culture, and therefore actually there are many iconic sites like the Senado Square or the ruins of St. Paul, which is a mix of Western cultures, architecture, like Portuguese architecture. So it's a kind of symbolize Macau's,
Wei-Ling, what do you think is the most iconic symbol for Macau?
As you just asked these questions, and remember the fusions, the Western and Eastern culture fusions in Macau, and it just pops up in my mind. And you could tell there's many places representing such a symbol. And for example, like the Lancha Temple is behind the ruins of St. Paul, and also the Portuguese cobblestone road in front of the Ahmad Temple. And all this symbol is just representing Macau's special point.
That's a great point. And speaking of the tourism development in Macau, I know a lot of people went there for shopping. And one of the things that people all like is the little beautifully designed products that represents Macau. Let's go and check that out. Wow, look at what we have here on the table. These are the beautiful souvenirs and unique ones from Macau. We have the magnets. Let me show you. See? Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
And the stickers and the keychains. This is my favorite one.
Yeah, with the lotus.
The lotus flower we just
Yeah.
talked about. And this postcard is also very interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you
See.
take
Okay.
it out?
Take it out and see.
I think these are the foldable postcards, and you can make it like a three-dimensional,
Yeah.
and it's very unique in the design.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one
I
do you
think-
like most?
Maybe the
What's your
ruins of
favorite one?
Singapore.
I thought it's the
Yeah.
I think it's the Ma Temple. And
Maybe, like what have I just said, I like the ruins of Singapore the most because actually the ruins of Singapore has a well-known history. Like it has been burned for 3 times, and so it just left the only face in here. And
Yeah,
and I really appreciate about
the ruins of St. Paul is here, and
Yeah,
it's
and it's-
also over here.
Yeah, and it's
It's
the
a
same.
beautifully designed pattern. It's
Yeah.
an abstract pattern, but it's beautiful. The cushion,
I love this cushion too.
the color,
And the ruins of Singapore is my favorite.
iconic landscape
Yeah.
in Macau. And it's interesting, you have the Western one and you have the Chinese one,
Yeah.
the temple.
As I just mentioned about that is Ama Temple, and the road in front of the Ama Temple is like the Portuguese cobblestone
Wow.
road, and it just reminds me that the West and East cultural fusions, and it's really a good representation.
Indeed. Like you said, when we look at the history of Macau, the Western and Eastern cultures have taken root and flourished here. And I know that besides the beautiful architectures, there is a list that includes a lot of very interesting, intangible cultural heritage. Is there anything that you know of? And have you ever experienced anything personally?
For me, maybe my choice is kind of funny and unimaginable. I think you guys can try to guess it. It's closely related to our daily life and it's drinkable.
Drinkable
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah,
it's
some
tea.
kind of like herbal tea, something like that.
Oh, you're right. I think the herbal tea, which we call in Cantonese 涼茶, I think it's the most I'm proud of because I've been drinking it since my childhood. Because whenever I'm sick or have some other illness, my parents will immediately boil some or buy some near our home. And maybe because I don't like to eat those pills, medicine pills. I think that kind of taste is just like so bitter and I don't like that. And so my family will buy the herbal tea for me and I really like maybe today I got a cold and after I drink it the next day I get well immediately and I think well it's just like a magic tea.
It's a healthy choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
The making and the preparation of herbal tea is on the list of intangible cultural heritage in Macau. So as a young student from Macau, what are the challenges and the advantage for Macau in terms of its cultural development?
Maybe like the benefits in location as Macau it's at the crossroad at Asia and it acts like a gateway between the cultural exchange of the East and the West, and I think this can help to attract the people from other cities or country to come and collaborate with Macau, making Macau in a more artistic vibe, I think. We really hope that more people come to visit Macau, to travel Macau, and to spread the brilliant culture in Macau. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming and for this amazing conversation we have.
and we enjoy a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. As the American poet Amy Lowell once captured in her verse, in the dusk when the lanterns bloom like flowers and incense smoke curls like a white veil, Macao reveals itself as a city of mystery, beauty, and fusion, just like the immersive experience we just witnessed here today. It's truly a dreamland where digital art, fragrance, and light come together in perfect harmony, much like the East-West blend that defines Macao itself. I encourage you to come and take a piece of this dreamlike journey with you. But now it's time for me to head back to the tea house, where I can take a sip of tea and soothe my body after a long day's journey. Sitting in this beautiful tea house with the water flowing beside me, I cannot help but to imagine the delightful scenes of ancient Chinese people enjoying tea and reveling in the natural landscape. Tea is more than just a beverage. It embodies a philosophy of life and social etiquette, conveying values of harmony, tranquility, and respect for nature. As tea ceremonies and tea art performances spread globally, people from diverse cultural backgrounds gain deeper mutual understanding and respect. We will conclude our show with a classic tune of traditional Chinese music, 步步高, which translates to step a step higher. It's a timeless favorite in China and frequently performed during festive occasions. But before we dive into the lively and uplifting melody, don't forget to raise your cup of tea. And now let's tea up from UniTea. Thank you for watching and see you next time.